I woke up with the sun shining in my face. I pulled the sheet to cover myself, but the heat had already invaded the room. I stretched, trying to shake off the sleep that still held on to me. I rolled over in bed, trying to find a comfortable position. The clock read 6 in the morning, but I was still in that half-asleep phase. Decided to get up. The day was starting, and I had to face another journey. I put on an old t-shirt and worn-out shorts. Nothing too glamorous, but it was what I had for today. I left the room and went straight to the kitchen. The smell of fresh coffee was already spreading through the house. It was the best part of my day, no doubt about it. "Hey, honey. Did you sleep well?" my wife asked, smiling as she stirred the pots on the stove. "Like a baby," I replied, going to her and giving her a kiss on the cheek. She served me a cup of hot coffee and a piece of bread with jam. "There you go. Your breakfast is served," she said, handing me the plate. "You're an angel," I said, taking the coffee and taking a long and delicious sip. After breakfast, I said goodbye to my wife and left the house. I had to figure out how to face another day of work. I walked through the streets of the small town, greeting the neighbors I met along the way. Everyone seemed to be starting the day off on the right foot. I arrived at the workshop, where I work as a mechanic. The sun was already high in the sky and the heat was starting to become unbearable. I opened the workshop door and went in, ready to face another day of repairs and fixes. The customers started coming in little by little, bringing their cars with all sorts of problems. My colleagues and I took turns, working hard to keep up with everything. Time flew by, and before I knew it, it was lunchtime. We left the workshop and went to the corner restaurant where we always have lunch. We sat at a table and placed our orders. While we waited for the food to arrive, we started talking about life, work, and everything else. "Did you see the game last night?" one of my colleagues asked. "No, I ended up falling asleep before it even started," I replied, shrugging. "You missed a great game, man. You should have stayed awake," another colleague said, laughing. The food arrived and we fell silent, focusing on the dishes in front of us. Lunch was quick but comforting. Soon we were back at the workshop, ready to face the afternoon ahead. The sun continued to shine outside, but inside the workshop, we were too busy to notice. And so the rest of the day went, full of work and camaraderie. When we finally closed the workshop doors and said our goodbyes, the sun was already starting to set on the horizon. It was time to go back home and rest, ready to face another day tomorrow. I arrived home tired but satisfied after another day's work. I opened the door and was greeted by the comforting smell of food my wife was cooking in the kitchen. "Hey, love, how was your day at the workshop?" she asked, smiling as she stirred a pot on the stove. "It was tiring, but okay. Lots of cars to fix, as always," I replied, kicking off my shoes and flopping onto the couch. She served dinner, and we sat down at the table. As we ate, I told her about Pedro's proposal, the owner of the grocery store. "You know, today Pedro came to talk to me at the workshop. He said he needs help building an extra room in his house. And guess what? He offered me free food if I help," I said, with a smirk. My wife raised her eyebrows, surprised. "And did you accept his offer?" "Well, I thought it would be a good idea. After all, it doesn't hurt to help out a friend, right?" I replied, shrugging. She nodded, thoughtful. "Well, if that's what you want to do, then go ahead. Just don't forget to take care of yourself, okay?" After finishing dinner, I leaned back in my chair, satisfied. After washing the dishes together, my wife said goodbye to me with a kiss on the cheek and went to bed. I stayed in the kitchen for a while, thinking about Pedro's proposal. Was it worth the effort to earn free food? In the end, I decided it was. After all, I had nothing to lose. The next day, I woke up early and got ready to go to Pedro's grocery store. He was waiting for me outside with a smile on his face. "I'm glad you came, buddy. I need someone strong to help me with these rocks," he said, pointing to a pile of boulders next to the house. Without hesitation, I started carrying the rocks to the spot where Pedro was building the extra room. The sun was beating down, but I was determined to finish the job. Hours passed, and we finally finished loading all the rocks. Pedro offered me a glass of cold water as a reward, and I gladly accepted. "You're a great friend, Mario, and as promised, now you can get free food whenever you want," he said, smiling. I thanked him with a nod and said goodbye, heading back home with a smile on my face. After all, helping a friend and getting free food wasn't half bad. On that sunny morning, as I was heading to work, Something unexpected happened. Walking along the dirt road, I spotted a group of children playing near an old tree. Curious, I approached to see what caught their attention. Then, one of the children, with excitement sparkling in their eyes, pointed to the ground and exclaimed, "Look, Mario, we found something buried here." Intrigued, I bent down to see what it was. To my surprise, they had unearthed an old wooden box buried in the ground. Excitedly, I began digging around the box to unearth it completely. Finally, after a few minutes of effort, the box was free from the dirt covering it. Carefully, we opened the lid and were amazed by what we found inside. Hundreds of shiny silver coins. "This is incredible," I exclaimed, barely able to believe our luck. The children jumped and shouted with joy around us. I decided to take the box of coins home and show it to my wife. She would be as surprised as I was by this unexpected discovery. Arriving home, I walked through the front door with a box of coins in hand. My wife was in the kitchen preparing lunch and looked at me curiously when she saw me come in. "What's this, Mario?" she asked, her eyes shining with curiosity. "You won't believe what I found this morning," I said, opening the box so she could see the shiny coins inside. Her eyes widened at the sight of the box's contents. "Oh my goodness, Mario, this is amazing! Where did you get this?" I explained to her about the children's discovery near the tree and how we unearthed the box together. My wife was as excited as I was about our luck. "This is going to change our lives, Mario," she said, smiling. "Now we can make all our dreams come true." And so, with the shiny silver coins in hand, we began to dream of a future full of possibilities. After all, you never know when luck may come knocking at our door. The next morning, as I savored the excitement of the discovery of the silver coins, I decided to take a stroll through the town. The sun was shining in the blue sky, and the fresh morning air invigorated me. As I walked through the bustling streets of the town, I spotted an old sage sitting under the shade of a centuries-old tree. His eyes seemed to carry the wisdom of many years, and I felt an inexplicable urge to approach him. "Good morning, my friend," I greeted with a smile. "Good morning, young traveler," replied the sage with an enigmatic smile on his lips. I told him about the incredible discovery of the silver coins and how it would change our lives forever. The sage listened attentively, his penetrating gaze seeming to see through me. "Ah, fortune is a fickle lady," he said with a grave voice. "But remember, young friend, with great power comes great responsibility." I was intrigued by his words and asked him to explain further. "When fortune smiles upon us, it is easy to be tempted by greed and the desire to accumulate more wealth," continued the sage. "But it is important to remember that true value lies in generosity and gratitude." His words resonated with me, making me reflect on the deeper meaning of my recent luck. Was the purpose of these silver coins merely to enrich me and my family, or was there something more? "What should I do then, sage?" I asked, seeking guidance. "Use your fortune to do good to others, my friend," replied the sage with a sparkle in his eyes. "Only through generosity and love for others can we find true happiness." I thanked the sage for his inspiring words and promised to follow his advice. I left him under the shade of the tree, feeling renewed and determined. As I walked back home, the sage's words echoed in my mind. Now, more than ever, I was determined to use my fortune to make a difference in the world around me. Arriving home after my enlightening conversation with the sage, I felt a new determination pulsing in my chest. Not only was I determined to use my fortune for good, but I also wanted to strategically plan how to do so. I sat at the kitchen table where my wife was preparing breakfast and shared with her the wise words of the old sage. "So, what do you think we should do?" my wife asked, with a look of curiosity and interest. I pondered for a moment before responding. "I think we should start by planning how we can use these silver coins to help our community." My wife nodded, agreeing with my suggestion. Together, we began to devise an action plan. We decided that a portion of the coins would be allocated to building a school in the town. We knew that education was the key to a better future, and we wanted to provide this opportunity to the children in our community. Furthermore, we set aside a sum to assist needy families with food and clothing. We couldn't change the entire world, but we could make a difference in the lives of the people around us. We also planned to invest part of the coins in projects that promoted sustainable development and environmental preservation. We wanted to ensure that future generations could also enjoy a better world. With our action plan outlined, we felt a renewed sense of purpose. Now, not only did we have the fortune in our hands, but we also had the responsibility to use it for the common good. As we had breakfast, we discussed the details of our plan and became excited about the possibilities that lay ahead. We knew there was much work to be done, but we were ready to face the challenge together. With a smile on our faces and hearts full of hope, we began to prepare to put our plan into action and make a real difference in the lives of the people around us. With the action plan defined, we dove headfirst into the preparations to put it into practice. We decided to start with the construction of the school, because we believed that investing in children's education was the first step in transforming our community. I sought out the most experienced master builder in town and explained our project to him. He agreed to help us and provided us with a detailed budget for the construction of the school. With the silver coins we had set aside, we made the initial payment for the construction and closely monitored each step of the process. It was incredible to see the daily progress and imagine the children from our community studying in that school. While the school was being built, we also began distributing food and clothing to needy families. We assembled a small volunteer team and organized distribution points in different parts of the town. Seeing the gratitude in the faces of the people we helped filled our hearts with joy. We knew that every little gesture made a difference, and we were determined to continue helping in the best way we could. Furthermore, we started researching sustainable development and environmental preservation projects. We wanted to invest in initiatives that would benefit not only our community but also the planet as a whole. As our efforts progressed, we began to feel a palpable change around us. People were more united, more hopeful, and more determined to build a better future together. Our action plan was bearing fruit, and we could see the transformation happening before our eyes. It was an incredible feeling to know that we were making a difference and contributing to a fairer and more sustainable world. With each step we took, we felt a sense of accomplishment and greater purpose. And we knew that, with perseverance and dedication, we were capable of achieving great things and leaving a positive legacy for future generations. As we continued with our projects to transform the community, we began to face unexpected challenges that tested our determination and resilience. One of the most significant challenges was the opposition from some members of the community who disagreed with our initiatives. Some questioned our motivations, while others simply did not believe that we could make a difference. However, we did not let the criticism shake us. We remained steadfast in our purpose and sought ways to overcome these obstacles. We organized meetings with community members to explain our plans and listen to their concerns, showing that we were committed to working together for the common good. Additionally, we faced logistical challenges in the execution of our projects. The construction of the school experienced some delays due to issues with suppliers and adverse weather conditions. However, we worked closely with the construction team to address these issues and ensure that the project was completed on time. Another challenge was ensuring that our initiatives to help needy families were sustainable in the long run. We forged partnerships with local organizations and sought ways to empower families so they could sustain themselves in the future. Despite the challenges, we found strength in each other and in the community we had built around us. Solidarity and mutual support helped us overcome adversity and strengthened us in our mission to make a difference. As we faced and overcame each obstacle, we became even more determined to achieve our goals and continue working for a better future for all. Our challenges only made us stronger and more resilient in our journey of community transformation. After facing challenges and triumphs, it was time to celebrate our achievements and receive recognition from the community for the hard work we had done. We organized a grand party to mark the completion of the school construction and the success of our community aid projects. Everyone in town was invited to participate and share in our joy. The party was a resounding success. Music, dance, and delicious food filled the air as people gathered to celebrate our accomplishments. The atmosphere of unity and gratitude was palpable, and we could feel the positive energy emanating from everyone around us. During the party, we were surprised with a tribute from the community in recognition of our work. We received warm applause and words of gratitude from everyone present, which filled us with emotion and pride. We were deeply touched by the recognition and support of the community. Knowing that our work was making a difference in the lives of people around us was an invaluable reward for all the challenges we had faced along the way. Additionally, we received praise from local authorities and representatives of charity organizations for our efforts in promoting community development and social inclusion. It was an honor to be recognized for our work, and it gave us even more motivation to continue fighting for a fairer and more equal world. As the party continued into the night, we felt a profound gratitude for being part of such a supportive and welcoming community. We knew that together, we were capable of achieving great things and building a better future for everyone. And so, we celebrated our achievements with joy and gratitude, renewing our commitment to continue fighting for a world where everyone has equal opportunities to thrive and be happy. As the days went by and our efforts to improve the community continued, we began to reflect on the legacy we wanted to leave for future generations. We decided that our work should not be just a series of isolated projects, but rather a legacy of generosity and solidarity that would endure for many years. We wanted to create a culture of mutual support and empathy in our community, inspiring others to follow our example. To achieve this, we started developing education and awareness programs on social and environmental issues. We organized lectures, workshops, and community events to engage people and inspire them to make a difference in their own lives. Furthermore, we encouraged volunteering and teamwork, creating opportunities for people to actively get involved in improving their communities. We wanted to show that together, we were stronger and capable of facing any challenge that came our way. As our efforts expanded and more people joined us in our mission, we became increasingly confident that we were building a lasting legacy of generosity and compassion. Over time, we saw the fruits of our labor spread throughout the community. People were more united, more supportive, and more willing to make a difference in their own lives and the lives of others. And so, as we continued to work tirelessly to promote the well-being and prosperity of our community, we knew that we were leaving behind a legacy of generosity and kindness that would endure forever, inspiring future generations to follow in our footsteps and make the world a better place for all. As we approached the end of our journey, we looked back with gratitude for everything we had accomplished together. Our community was more united, more prosperous, and more hopeful than ever, and we knew we had played a significant role in that transformation. However, we also recognized that our journey was far from over. There was still much work to be done to ensure a better future for all, and we were determined to continue fighting for it. We decided it was time to pass the torch to the younger generations, empowering them to lead the way to a brighter future. We began mentoring young community leaders, sharing our experiences and knowledge with them, and encouraging them to take the lead in future projects. At the same time, we continued to seek ways to expand and enhance our programs and initiatives, ensuring they continued to meet the ever-evolving needs of our community. And so, as we prepared for the next chapter of our journey, we looked forward with hope and optimism, knowing that the work we had begun would continue to thrive in the hands of those who came after us. As we bid farewell to the community we loved so much, we knew we were leaving behind a lasting legacy of generosity, solidarity, and compassion. And although our days as active leaders were coming to an end, we knew that our spirit would live on forever in the hearts of those we had touched along the way. And so, with a smile on our lips and gratitude in our hearts, we set off towards a new beginning, confident that the seeds we had planted would continue to flourish and inspire others to make the world a better place for all.